So to wrap up this segment on how the pandemic has affected us, I kind of wanted to just share a personal story, and hopefully you guys relate to it. If not, well, doesn't care. Again, this is my event session. So this whole journey of mental health that I've been going through, again, since 2011, and then had it hit me real hard in 2020, was tough. Right, there was a point where I was suicidal, and no one really knew. Kind of kept that to myself, and for a lot of people, it it didn't make sense because I couldn't explain it to them, and I couldn't get them to understand that because I've tried and people just don't really get in, and I fully understand that when people are in that space. So I was in a really good space in my life prior to that time frame. So I was working for myself, and I was doing independent consulting, and I was making really really good money picking up private consulting clients, and I was making a lot of money. And then I pretty much had all that money saved up, and then I invested that money into my startup. And many of you who are going to watch this, and at least in the early space, are going to know what that is. But I invested a lot of that money in that startup. Took out a lot of loans to invest in that startup, and the startup didn't go well. And so I went from having six figures in my bank account to being six figures in debt. And I don't want to mention specific numbers. They're there, but I also was invested six figures in education. So my business degree, my computer science degree, my psychology, and all my specializations for life coaching. I invested a lot of money into myself, into my business, and at the pandemic peak, like, I lost everything. And so it kind of like made me think about my value and my self-worth. It was so much tied to like me being the person who was able to make all this money and to do all this and pull myself up, and being someone who came from like literal poverty, like welfare, not knowing what we're gonna eat, like the lights going off, staying with my mom in one of those shelters, and like all this stuff that a lot of people don't really know about me was like going through my head, and me having to process that. Like, damn, like, as far as I've come, like, I just went back to nothing in a month, right? A couple months, like, all everything you built is gone. Sure, the startup didn't work out, and then like, all right, cool, I got to take this money, I'm gonna invest, take whatever I have left and invest it somewhere else, and then boom, pandemic hits, and it just puts you in such a dark spot. And then like, luckily at the time, I had a friend who was there for me and didn't know. They had no idea what was going on. They just chose to fucking be there. And I literally told them at one point, like, no, I'm good. I'm just chilling, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna come hang out with you. We're gonna do this. We're gonna show up. And it was like, man, like, just having that person like be there for you, and like not even really knowing what's going on, but like being there and helping you out and kind of helping you get through that. And you kind of slowly like come back to yourself, and you bounce back because you had somebody there. And I'm sharing this story because I found out that I was that person for a couple other people, and I had no idea. And it's like, fuck, you never know how you're affecting someone else's life. And so you should be very careful with the words you say. And if you just so happen to be that person for someone else, even though you don't know, you're just being a kind, nice person, be grateful when they share that information with you, because that may happen from them seeing this video, right? You just don't know. And all the people that have shared with it that I was that person for them, like, I had no idea. I'm glad I could be that person, and I will continue to be that nice, caring, supporting person. And even when people try to make me feel bad for being too nice or being too supportive of other people, that's my superpower, and you can't really take that away from me. And I'm just glad that I could be there, and that I could help with other people. So hopefully that story was very real and deal, and I don't know if you could tell. Definitely do get choked up telling that story, but hopefully that helps someone else out. And be nice to people, be kind to people, because you don't know what they're going through, and you may be the one person that they look at, and then if you're all of a sudden change up your energy, that could completely fuck shit up for them. So anyway, I hope this information is valuable to somebody. If not, who cares, right? It's my event session, and I'm going to be putting out a lot more long form content and chopping up it into smaller content as I continue on my journey as a mental health professional, specifically emotional self-mastery, working with entrepreneurs, tech professionals. So anyway, take care, guys.